Good morning. The word for you today. Today is Thursday, October 31st, and our devotion today is titled Your Quiet Time, Part 4. Our scripture passage comes out of the book of Psalms, chapter 3, verse 4, and it says, I call out to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy mountain. And then in the Hebrew, it ends this part of the chapter with the word Selah. Psalm 3 is a psalm of David. This is one of the psalms that are mournful in nature. David's writing this during the time period of his fleeing from Absalom. And this is a time of tremendous turmoil in David's life. The chapter starts with David saying, Lord, he's invoking God's sacred name. He says, God, my Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? Many are saying of me, God will not deliver him. David starts by telling God about his situation. David starts this section, by just talking about how hopeless everything around him seems right now. And then David continues. He says, But you, Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head high. I call out to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy mountain. David immediately has put in this contrasting idea. He starts our chapter by saying, here is the hopelessness that I am in. And then he immediately meets it with, but here is the goodness of God. Here is the promise of God that in this hopelessness, God is still present. God is still here. So what does that mean for us? Sometimes I have found that it is easier for me to come to God, to pray to God, whenever things are pretty great. But sometimes when it is a little bit harder, whenever life isn't going as well as I want it to, when my stress is at an all-time high, I find it harder to go to God, to take that quiet time. To take quiet time for myself, first of all. But then, if I do take quiet time for myself, to use it to speak with God. So what do we do with that? Well, I think that this psalm is an invitation. On the days when life just isn't fair, those days when it's hard to get out of bed, the days when it feels like the entire world is against you. When you have your Absalom, take a second and make the conscious effort, the intentional effort to find God in a quiet space and see if you can trust and if we can believe that God will work in the worst. Have a nice day.